Alright, STA250, welcome. Fall 2015, Thomas University. This is going to be a dual purpose video. This video will be used for both STA250 section online 16D and then also for online 16F. So it's same course, I just have two sections. Everything's identical that y'all be doing. So just make sure that you identify which section you're in so that you utilize the correct numbers and so forth when we're creating our MyMathLab account. Let's go ahead and go on into the Blackboard environment and take a look at what's going on. Alright, so inside of Blackboard, what I wanted to use this video for is a quick run through to basically give you the layout and kind of like where to expect things and how things will be just be delivered to you throughout this fall semester. So first of all, anytime something changes, anything adds, I communicate, whatever it is, that information will always be posted right there in our announcements tab. And then from there, it'll be sent out via email to your Thomas University email address. So you can see I'm working on kind of typing some stuff behind the lines. You haven't received this email yet at the time of this video. We'll skip over that one just for 1 second. So hopefully when you started off the opening activities, you came down here and kind of read through the first week of classes stuff and talked about that I'd have a video recorded for you. Obviously Wednesday evening didn't work out, but I was, like I said to some of you, I was trying to make some technical connections on some stuff and to kind of make things more streamlined, and that didn't work out too much because of my didn't take care of it as soon as I could have. So I apologize, but everything should go pretty smoothly now that I've given it some time to iron some things out. Textbook, hopefully at this point you have a textbook, whether you got the hardback with the access code or whether you got the loose leaf with the access code or whether you just were able to get just the access code for Connect Math. The thing about just having just the access code is that it does have an ebook tied to it, so you do actually have a book, but just not a hard copy that you can look at like you might be traditionally used to. Another announcement is that since I do it does help if you identify like what class you're in. So you say STA250, or maybe even say if there's two sections, there's OL16D and there's OL16F. It'd be great if you added that into your subject line of your emails. It'll allow me to basically get an idea of which class I'm looking at, and I don't have to pull out my roll to see where you're asking questions and where I need to go. So if you remember, that's great. If you don't, no big deal. Gradebook. We'll get into gradebook here in just a minute. The main thing to remember about the gradebook is just kind of how it breaks down as far as grades. We have some assignments, some quizzes that add up 20% of your grade. Your final exam is 20% of your grade, and that's cumulative. And then we have 6 tests that account for 60% of your grade. Please make sure, because we are using online environment for your assessments, that you go behind yourself and take a look at your responses and what the correct answer was, and determine whether or not possibly you maybe typed something into the computer incorrectly, or whatever it might be. So please take time to do that, and then just send me an email if there is a problem, and I'll take a look and determine whether or not I can give you the points. In the past, this class has been created just utilizing a TI-83 or TI-84. As time's moved along, I have actually modified the course to be able to use a website called easycalculation.com. So there's no need to go buy a TI-83 or 84. If you have one or you have access to one that you could borrow, that's great. If not, then like I said, I've created videos and guides on how you can do the same things via easycalculation.com, and that'll be real clear and straightforward when you get to those spots. Alright, so at the moment, for this semester, you will have 2 hours for any one of your assessments, whether it be a quiz or whether it be a test. That's more than a sufficient amount of time. That means that on quizzes, you should have plenty of time to be able to use notes from your suggested homework problems or things that you've done when you practice leading up to the quiz. When it comes to the test, 2 hours when you're covering a chapter, 2 hours might feel like a little bit of a crunch. I hope that it doesn't cause you anxiety. It's not my intention, but 2 hours is kind of like our window that Thomas University usually uses for their assessments, and so I've stuck to that. So Throughout the semester, it'll be 2 hours for your assessment, whether it's a quiz or whether it's your final exam. That'll be a 2 hour period. The way that I run the quizzes and the tests, instead of having like everything due on Sunday night and then that whole pressure of feeling like that, I do kind of a revolving throughout the semester pattern, and I'll show you on the course pacing chart shortly. And that once a quiz or a test opens, you have 7 days to complete it. And like I said, I'll show you on the chart here in just a minute. So that means if something opens at 5 a.m. on Tuesday, then it'll be open until midnight the following Tuesday. So it gives you plenty of time. If I do it this way, a lot of things roll over on the weekend anyway. So if some of you are like me, where on Sunday afternoon you're sitting down and working on your college work, then that'll work out pretty well for you. Let's take a look at it here in just a moment, and I'll kind of readdress the course pacing. All right, I think that's all the announcements that are available to you. So let's go ahead and jump into that course pacing chart and take a look at it. All right, so this was posted, and I didn't announce it. It was posted yesterday. I finalized it, and I've been kind of working on getting everything finalized so I can make this video and bring it to your attention. This is your course pacing chart. It's located in the syllabus tab. I'll show you where that is in just a moment. And what this has listed is it has listed like when an assignment will open and when it'll close. Now, the suggested homework, the homework assignments that you won't complete, you will not turn in for a grade, those assignments will, they're open. So as soon as I create them, they'll be opened up, ready for you to take a look and to start working on. However, quizzes will be open for a window, a time frame. And so right now, the Chapter 1 quizzes, or quiz, excuse me, will open up today and will stay open till at least the 30th. Now, because I'm just opening this stuff up and it is 4:30 on Sunday the 23rd, I'll probably extend that date there on the 30th a little bit longer, but just look for communication, and if you don't get it done by that time, then just no problem. I won't count points off on that first assignment. And then as you go down through the thing, you'll see here that so now the next one opens up on the 27th. So basically that's the 4th day, or 3 days later. You have a 3-day period in between when something opens. You have 3 days, the second assignment opens, and it stays open for 7 days. So in my mind, what that does is it gives you time to go in and to work on the suggested homework. It gives you time to say, okay, well, I can do maybe 2 sections this week. So you kind of got this little bit of overlap, or both of them are open at the same time. So hypothetically, you could wait until Saturday, and you could go and work on Chapter 1 and Section 2.1, and you could take care of both of those on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, and they'd be due at the end of the day on Sunday at midnight. Alright, my apologies, my son just walked in from being gone. Alright, so where was I? So you go through and you've got the assignments with the opening date and the closing date. It kind of overlaps a little bit, so you can kind of, if you needed to sit down and do a couple assignments at a time, you could, or you can just do one at a time, just small little bursts here and there. And so that's kind of the way the course is designed. Obviously, if you're, the number one thing I think that I want to put across about this course is that if work's busy one week and you're not going to be able to work on stuff until Sunday, then just email me. And and we'll make arrangements together as far as like what's going on, and if you need a little extra time on something, or it just doesn't work for you to work on your coursework until a certain day of the week because you're a nurse and you work 4 12-hour shifts in a row and you got to wait until your day's off. Just communicate with me. Send me an email, talk to me. We'll get to know each other, and we'll get you through the course. All right, that's what I'm looking for. I'm here to help you, improve yourself and to move forward with your degree, so that way you can, get that pay raise or whatever it is that you're, striving for here with Thomas University. I have 4 additional assignments. Here are your list of quizzes and tests throughout the semester. I have 4 additional assignments. 2 of them I already have listed. And as the semester moves on, I will get you specific directions and post those, so there'll be no questions asked. You will know exactly what's expected for you on those assignments. If you're just one of those people that wants to jump in and get started on it, you can email me if you have questions, but preferably give me about 2 weeks to be able to kind of get that started and going. What I will do is, because not many people, or not, a few of us, might not be as familiar with Microsoft Office or Microsoft Excel, excuse me, and it might be a little intimidating to go in there and to create this stuff. Your textbook in the back of the section does have step-by-step directions, but still, it's still a little bit intimidating when they give you specific directions and you're not really sure what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to work on some kind of resources to help with those, possibly videos, and like I said, I'll get those to you. Those assignments are not due until the very last day of class, which is on December 4th. And so you have more than enough time to be able to, to get to that spot where, you work on those. And if you take a look at it, you'll notice that our very last test opens on November 30th. And so, there's a little bit of lapse there. So if you're on top of things, you've got a week off actually after finishing up that first test, or that last test, excuse me. All right, final exam. I apologize if I feel like you feel like I'm talking really quickly. I'm trying to push this information into this welcome video as quickly as possible. And so then what can happen is if you need to, you can pause, go back, re-listen to a certain spot is essentially what I'm up to. The final exam. So the final exam, our testing week for finals at Thomas University is on the 7th through the 10th of December. And so what I do is, because we have to use ProctorU, the online proctoring service for this particular exam, what I do is I just open it up at 5 a.m. on December 7th, that's a Monday, and you have to have your test completed by 11:59 p.m. on the 10th, that's a Thursday. You need to make sure you set up an appointment with ProctorU, and as we come closer to that time, the 1st of November, right before Thanksgiving, I'll start reminding you to set up your appointment with ProctorU, to find a time that week. So don't worry about, oh, I'm going to forget to do that. I will send out that information, that's my job. My job is to facilitate this course, help you guys get through it, and make sure we're not missing things. All right, so that's the course pacing chart. I would print this off. I would go into the syllabus tab. I come here to the syllabus tab in Blackboard, and I would print that course pacing chart. I'd click on that link right there, print that thing out, and I would go through, if you're a calendar person, I'd put those quizzes and tests on the calendar so that you know when things are due. If you're not, I would just hang this up, or put it with your math book, or whatever your folder you're keeping all your work in, and I would just keep track of that and check things off and write the grades down as you go. So literally the way that I would use this sheet is that when I took the Chapter 1 quiz, I would write my score down here on the side. So let's say I made an 88. I'd write 88 right there. And then when I take Chapter 2, the quiz 2.1, I would write down whatever score I got. So that's kind of like checking off, making sure that you're completing all of these quizzes and tests, because when you look at your grade book inside of Blackboard or inside of Connect Math, it doesn't really show you what's coming up. It only shows you what you've completed. And so that's kind of confusing, because you're like, oh, well, I'm not missing anything. But the reality is you actually might be missing something. So this is your check sheet. These are your assignments. I mentioned there's 4 total assignments outside of these quizzes and tests. Here's 2 of them. The other 2 are going to be discussion board posts, and I apologize, that's new for me. I don't have those ironed out at the moment, but I will give you sufficient time to complete those. Let's say I posted on a Sunday. You will have at least 1 week to get that post taken care of in the discussion board, and the idea there is it's requiring you to kind of give a response and then go in and to maybe read some of your classmates' responses, and to get an idea of what's a good way to excuse me, let me back up. It's a chance for us to have this discussion occur inside of an online class, and so hopefully we'll find some value in those. That's a new thing for me this semester. All right, so let's jump to the syllabus. So we go back to the syllabus tab. Right here you've got Thomas University has their own specific, so every professor has the same Part 2, and that has all of your basic policies for Thomas University. And then you've got my course pacing chart that you need to print out. And then you have my syllabus for your course for STA250. This, I would not print this out. There is no need to print this out. Things are not going to change. They're going to be there. If I change something on the syllabus, I will post an announcement. So there's not like I'm going to change it on you, and you need to be like, oh, well, he might change it halfway through, and then a rule might change. If that happens, I will post any adjustments. You will know. There'll be communication. Everything will be smooth as possible. So let's take a look at that syllabus. All right, so this is an online course. It's 3 credit hours, and this is, it's your responsibility. This is your deal. This is a commitment on your part. You don't have to show up to class on, a certain evening of the week. You don't have to be in a classroom at a certain time, but you need to commit time to this class. It's a 3 credit hour course. So you're looking at 4, 5, 6 hours a week at least that you should be spending on this course. And that's a lot. If you work full-time and you have a family and you have kids and your kids have activities, spending an extra 6 hours away from your family, and I'm saying a high number, spending an extra 6 hours away from your family every week is a lot. And so it's going to take a commitment. It's going to take setting aside that, for me, it's Sunday afternoon. I make a pot of coffee and I sit down on my computer and I get my work done. Or it's going to be that, getting up another hour earlier or 2 hours earlier and going back to the office and sitting down and punching out a homework and a quiz and just checking off the list as you go through the weeks. And it's finding that rhythm. And, we have a pretty good break in the middle. We have fall break. And so, keep that in mind. I mean, that's valuable. Even though you're not a traditional student, you're going to go on fall break, and go on a trip. But it's still a nice chance for you to reboot your engine and take a week off from having to do work. So, or at least your extra work. Contacting me, Thomas University email, honestly, is probably the best. You're more than welcome to give me a call on my cell phone. There it is, because since I don't have an office phone, you can call on there. I'm be completely honest, I may or may not answer. With giving out your cell phone, you never know who's calling. So a lot of times I might let it go to voicemail, and then if I have time, I'll give you a call right back. So sending me an email and saying, hey, can we have a chance to speak this evening, and setting up a time is probably just as easy, because then you know that when you call, you're going to get me, and vice versa. We're not playing phone tag back and forth. So setting up a time if you need to talk is probably the best, almost like an appointment. I don't have specific office hours, but if you need help, I'm here. That's the number one thing you need to understand is that, I'm here to help you be successful. I'm going to skip through. You guys are adults. You can read that stuff. We're in college, and, I guess the thing that I really like to see is, these 4 boxes right here are so valuable for us to become successful, productive citizens, to be productive in the workplace. You got to be able to think critically, got to be able to discover information, foster community, and communicate effectively. So really read over those and just take those to heart and think about it. All right, break down the class real quick again. You got 16 quizzes, 2 discussion board posts, 2 spreadsheet email submission assignments, which I discussed on the course pacing chart. Those 2 discussion posts and those 2 spreadsheet email submissions, information and stuff like that will come, okay? It won't be a last-minute thing. You will know. You'll have plenty of time to respond and get those taken care of. You have 6 tests. That means 10% for each test. So let's look at these numbers right here. 16 quizzes. 2 and 2 for a total of 20. 20 total assignments adds up to 20% also. That means 1% each. That means that if you make an F on a quiz, it's only affecting 1% of your overall grade. So there's no need to go into panic mode. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you learn from your mistakes on that quiz, so that when you take the test over that quiz, you don't fail that test. Because that test by itself is 10% of your grade. And failing, making a 60 on a test, is extremely hard to recover from. So it's hard to recover to make an A in this class. You can still recover and make a B, but it's hard to recover to make an A. Then you have your cumulative exam, your final exam, and that's 20% of your overall grade. Standard grading scale, online course, textbook, we've covered that. That's just listing in the syllabus what's listed on Blackboard. All right, things you need for class. Because of ProctorU, you need to have, for your end of the semester, for your final exam, you need to have speakers and headphones, or headphones, excuse me, for ProctorU. You need to be able to, listen and hear that ProctorU person speak with you. I believe that you guys can, it actually says headphone, microphone, or headset. So a laptop that would have a microphone and a webcam would be perfect and has speakers built in. If you don't have one right now, then you just need to make sure you have a laptop that has those items in it for that last test. What you need right now is you need a computer that will connect to the internet efficiently, that will run efficiently, that won't crash in the middle of things, that you can rely upon. You need an internet connection that will allow you, that will be reliable to take care of this course. If you're looking at graphing calculators, there is this rentcalculators.org where you can rent one for the semester. Like I said, it's not needed, it's not required, but if you just think that's the best way for you, or if you have any questions, contact me. You don't have to pull the trigger until you ask questions. Ask me questions, and then we'll pull the trigger. And we'll get you caught up if you get a little bit behind. But I don't actually think we use the graphing calculator until Chapter 3. So that's several weeks from now. Resources are in the contacts. Let's jump off real quick and go take a look at that. So I'm going to go back to Blackboard. Underneath on the left-hand side of your Blackboard environment, right here you'll see contacts. If you click on that, these are your Thomas University resources. So you got your ARC, you got your help desk, if you got any kind of disability services that you might need, and then there's some Blackboard collaborative training stuff that's been posted there for students. So help desk, if you're having technical problems with your Thomas University stuff, okay? If you're having technical difficulties with your Thomas University stuff, you'll go to the Thomas University help desk. If you're having difficulties with your Math Connect, then you'll go to this announcement will stay up. It will be up here on your announcement page. You can either scroll down the page if it gets pushed down a little bit, but that website, that phone number, call them. They're fantastic. You might get someone from a different country, but from what I've experienced so far, they speak good English, and they understand, they know what's going on, they know the product well, and they'll be able to help you solve your problems with Connect Math. Let me know if you have any disability things that I need to address or take care of with you. Final exam, just repeat it right here. Information about your final exam. When it starts, when it closes, it's with ProctorU. So you got your ProctorU information, things you'll need to do. Like I said, I'll remind you coming closer, like into November, I'll start talking to you about the final exam and getting things set up. Your final exam will be open book. It'll be open note. The proctor will know that it's open web, meaning that you could use easycalculation.com. You shouldn't need a word processor. You'll be able to use a calculator, scratch paper, and no other materials are needed. Restroom break, it's a 2-hour session. So unless you need to, you have a special situation, which please contact me. So if you're going to require any kind of accommodations for the restroom in a 2-hour window for your ProctorU session, please let me know. And let's just go ahead and say this so it's recorded. What I've been hearing is ProctorU takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes to set up. So that means you could be sitting there for up to 3 hours without being able to walk away from your computer. If that's an issue, please let me know ahead of time. And I understand you might not know it's going to be an issue until you get started, but let's be adults. Go use the restroom before you sit down to get logged in, and then that way we know we'll take care of that. But if you know there's going to be a problem, just let me know. I'm a very easygoing guy. I just like communication. All right. Couple last things. Course schedule. Check your course pacing chart, which I already showed you where it is. This course is designed, so basically it's like I'm building everything from the assessment, the final assessment, from the test. So your test was built, then your quizzes are built, then your suggested homework is built. So whatever you see on your suggested homework is something that you're going to see on your quiz, which is something that you might see on your test. I mean, obviously not every quiz question is going to be on your test because your test would be so long. So, but you know that if you see it on a suggested homework, you're going to see it on a quiz. So if you've got questions when you're doing suggested homework, then ask before you take the quiz. Don't hesitate. If you get on with a quiz and you get something wrong and you don't know why you got it wrong and Connect Math isn't helping you understand why you got it wrong, then email me. Let me know. Say, hey, on quiz 2.1, number 5, I don't understand how you got that answer. And I'll help you out. We'll fix that problem. We'll take care of it. I would really suggest that you keep your suggested homework notes organized. And the reason is because, like I just said, This course is designed so that your suggested homework will be what you'll see on your quizzes. So if you do a good job of working your suggested homework problems out and taking notes, when you take your quiz, you're going to have examples to look at right there. Homework. Homework is not a grade. It will not be. It'll be submitted as far as inside of Connect Math, but I will not be taking it as part of your grade. The great thing about Connect Math is that they have these things called Solve It, guided solutions, show examples, videos, and link to textbooks. I will show you those stuff in just a minute. It's fantastic. We had a couple assignments. Those assignments, you know, 2 discussion board posts and 2 spreadsheet. Details and rubrics for those will come once I have those ready to go. Quizzes, like I said, you'll have 7 days. You'll have 2 hours to take them, and you get 1 attempt right now to be able to take those quizzes. Quizzes are valuable because they make sure that they tell you, hey, am I ready or not for this test? Because you can fail a quiz and it's not going to have a huge effect upon your grade. Tests are huge. 10% of your grade. So 1 test is 10% of your grade. Super important that you're ready, that you've looked over your homework, you've looked over the quizzes, you understand what you were getting wrong, so that way if you come across that question on the test, you're ready to go. Final exams, cumulative. You've seen the scheduled time and date on the course pacing chart. You've seen it up further in the syllabus, and like I said, I'll communicate with you in November. Makeup stuff, communicate with me. You know, my number one thing is this, everybody, is that I know you're adults. I know you got other things going on in your life. You know, my intentions are not to try to fail you because life threw a curveball at you and you're busy at work this week, and so you're going to miss a test and have your grade go down. Just please communicate with me. Take that time when you get home that night when you know you're not going to be able to do something to send me an email. You know, and we'll be fine. We'll work through this stuff, okay? I have this policy for late assignments in place in case I need it. Notice it says may be applied. You know, as long as you're communicating with me and you're not abusing, you know, our adult relationship here as far as responsibility, then 10% late fee probably won't be applied to anything that you might be late on if something comes up. But don't hide from me. Be upfront, and everything will be great. So there's a syllabus in a nutshell pretty quickly. Please take time to read through it. If you have any questions, email me, and I will do my best to give you a response that hopefully will solve our problem. So here's the thing. At the moment, Blackboard and Connect Math are not connected. It's 2 separate logins. Okay, so at the moment, and that's one of my things why I was hung up this week, there is a way that our Connect Math will be able to integrate into our Blackboard, and so that way you can just log into Blackboard and everything will be in one spot. We're working on that. And as soon as we have that problem solved, I'll communicate with you. But at the moment, you're going to have some of your resources here inside of Blackboard and some of your resources inside of Connect Math. And I apologize for that. We'll do our best to get that figured out and solved and so forth. So right now, what you're going to find when you look on the test, quiz, and assignment tab is nothing more, and let me turn this off so you see, is nothing more than just the opening activities. So on your end, when you look at this, you're going to come to the test, quiz, assignment tab, and that's all you're going to see. You're not going to see anything else listed there, and so you can click on there and make sure that you've gone through and taken care of these activities here, and most of you have. Then, when you're actually ready to do coursework, when you're ready to do homework, a quiz, whatever it is, you'll go to Connect Math. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go there and take a look at that. Okay, so this is, and I'll show you the login page in just a minute for you and how you create your account, but this is what it's going to look like when you get to Connect Math. Obviously you won't have 3 courses because you're only going to be enrolled in 1 course. So you'll either be enrolled in STA250 OL16D or STA250 OL16F. When you come in here, you'll click on the link and it'll pull up a page like this. As you scan across the top, you'll see here, you know, grade book, messages, resources. Play around with that, like I said. You know, become familiar. Ebook, it's a great resource. There's lots of things we can do with that, but right now we're not going to get crazy with it. We're going to focus on just using this as a content piece. They do have a calendar there which shows you like opening dates and due dates of assignments that might be valuable for you if you're a visual person, if the course pacing chart isn't work well for you. And then we'll come over here and we'll see that right now, as you scan through here, I can see there's my 5 tests so far that I have put in there. Inside there we have 9 assignments that I have inside of test number 1. So let's go see what those 9 assignments are. So I'll go ahead and open all. Alright, so the way that I have this broken down is chapter 1 is really just one quiz. Each one of these sections, section 1.1, section 1.2, section 1.3, and 1.4, they have very few questions in them. The concepts are kind of like an overview, introduction, and so you'll have one quiz for chapter 1, and that'll take care of all of that information. So chapter 1 might seem kind of heavy, but no kidding, if you spend an hour, you could sit down, you could watch the video tutorial. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what we got here. So the way I would intend is that you would go here and you'd open this up, and I've got 2 videos for you. Now, you could get this same information by just looking in your textbook, by going into the ebook and reading through section 1.1. The intentions of these videos would be is that they kind of deliver the content for that section, so you could jot down a few notes on your paper. You could close that out, then you could go into the actual suggested homework assignment. And now you could utilize your notes that you had. Now, please pay attention to this though. If you chose not to watch those videos, which I wouldn't recommend, I would really like to see you watch those videos and get some feedback on that. If you didn't know what the answer was, you could say solve it. And it's going to basically, let's see what it does. It gives you, basically in this case here, because it's just definitions, it gives you the answer. You could ask them to show you an example. So in this case here, it'll just show you the definition because that's all it is. You could try another one. So now they've changed it a little bit, so you can go back through, look at it. You could send an email to me and say, hey, I don't understand this question. In this case here, it's a bad example of that, but you get the idea. You've got the option to link right to your textbook. I'm not going to click on that right now because of the fact that it just takes time to load and just, but please play around with this. You have that option. So when you go to the next question, now we actually have something that's over content, over descriptive, over inferential. So it's actually like there's not just a definition there. There's actually, okay, what does it mean to be descriptive? What does it mean to be inferential? So that's stuff that you would have seen in your video. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and go back in and, in another tab, you could open up your videos again. And inside your videos, you could go back and you could re-watch and figure out which one of these is over descriptive and inferential statistics, and go about that way. So those are some options. Those are ways that you could work your way through these problems to be able to learn the content. Let's just go back in one more time. Oops, I had the wrong thing. I want to preview. So play around with that. As you go on, you can see that I've got several questions. So it's not that there's a ton of content per section. I've given you some practice problems. So it's like you do one of them, you think you might have started to learn something, you take in some notes, you go do another one, and you get a chance to practice again. And you move on, you got another one to try to practice again and try to determine whether you're getting it. So it's more like repetition than it is that you have so much content to learn inside of these different sections. So that's kind of how it's set up, and you'll see as that goes. So that's going to be how it's laid out. As far as, you can see I've got videos for a section, and then you've got your suggested homework. Videos, suggested homework. Videos, suggested homework. Videos, suggested homework. Then once you work through those, then you're ready for your quiz. So in your case here, I just do preview, but you guys would actually engage the quiz, open it up. Like I said, you have 2 hours to complete it. You can see it has an opening date and a due date on it. And you'll continue through that process. So chapter 2, chapter 3, and so forth. So right now, I'm not done with, obviously building the content. This is a brand new online environment, and I'll be kind of staying just ahead of you as I'm building this stuff. So you'll see things start adding into that Chapter 2 folder, adding into the Chapter 3 folder, and keep an eye on that pace chart and make sure that you're getting getting done with your suggested homework so that you can take the quizzes within the time frame that they're assigned. So that's our Connect Math portion. So let me go ahead and show you how the process is going to work for you to actually get a Connect Math account. So this is a PowerPoint which I will post as a PDF on Blackboard here in just a moment. And so what we see here is as I move through the slides is, hey, this is Connect Math. And Connect Math is basically hosted by Alex, which is, it's like an artificial intelligence diagnostic assessment with intuitive online learning tools to increase both instructor and student efficiency as well as effectiveness. Just sounds awesome, doesn't it? Well, it really is, because it's so dynamic. And, we're just touching the surface because this isn't a remedial class. This is a regular, statistical course that you need to move forward with your studies. And but it has this program has a lot of remedial stuff that can be put into place as needed, but we're going to use it as just a dynamic tool. So their data is showing that higher grades and perform better in the next math course. We've already talked about the 3 different ways that you can get your access code or for this book. So Connect Math, at this point right here we have our Connect Math website. We'll click on that and we'll sign up now. So in just a moment we'll see that screen. We'll enter our course code. I put that course code, I'll show you in just a minute. It's on our Blackboard home screen. You'll find that course code. You'll take your access code that you have gotten from the back of your book or from the card that you bought, or if you want to, you can purchase it right from this website. So here's our slides that you'll see. So when you click that Connect Math page, you guys are going to sign up now. It's right above the username and password. You'll sign up now. It'll bring you to this next place, where you'll put your course code in. Your course code has 2 little spots there. At this point, it'll bring you in and say, oh, so this is the course you're looking for, and you'll click Continue. Step number 4 is they'll ask you for your access code. If you don't have an access code and you're just waiting to go ahead and purchase one right now for $100, you click on the Purchase an Access Code online. After you purchase it, it'll bring you to this spot. And this is the spot where I was asking you to please use your Thomas University email. And the reason is if I email you from Connect Math, Thomas University has an email policy that we utilize TU's email server. They don't want us using our email servers for Google, for your Gmail or for Yahoo, or your work. They want you to try to interact and get your TU email set up and used. You'll create your password. You got your username and password that you'll be able to put in here. Please make sure to remember this, that your password does not have to be rocket science. Please make sure it's something that you can remember. Please write it down. Write it down on that course pacing chart. Write it down someplace that's going to be there every time you log in, so that way you don't have to go and use customer service to be able to try to figure out what it is. And I had that posted on our Blackboard environment. You'll be in. You'll bring you in. You'll be inside of Connect Math. If you need any help, you're having any troubles with getting this started, go to their website or give them a call. That says they're open 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. That's pretty late. 1 a.m. is a pretty big deal, so please utilize that as needed. All right, so let's go back to Blackboard real quick, and so here we go. On the front, on the announcement page, just today, which I'm about to send this email out as I get this video posted on YouTube. I'll send the information for the video and everything, and send this also. Here's your course code. Now remember, this is not for both courses. Each course has a unique code, so please make sure you go to your course inside of Blackboard and get that course code that you need to be able to use inside of Connect Math. Alright, I think that's everything. Let's see how long it took me. 39 minutes. Well, that extra bit with doing Connect Math added 9 minutes. Usually this video is about 30 minutes long. If there's anything I missed, if you have any questions, if you're just unsure, please don't hesitate to give me a call, send me an email. I am not going to just all of a sudden be running wide open where I'm just going to leave people behind at this point. I appreciate y'all's patience this week. I appreciate that you weren't freaking out that, hey, I got this email at the beginning, he gave me opening activities, and then he, where was he? Well, I was kind of, like I told you in that post yesterday, I was trying to get some technical things ironed out and put into place, trying to make those connection between Connect Math and Blackboard so everything will be a little more streamlined for you guys, and that just didn't work out. So, we'll get that figured out. We'll get that in place. So for right now, you'll have two separate logins. You'll have your login for Blackboard, and then you also have your login for Connect Math. And so what I recommend is I just bookmark that page, and you can see on my page here I have my TU tab. So I bookmark that, have my username and password saved, so I can just walk in here and click login, and go ahead and get right into my class and get work going. So I've got my Blackboard, I've got my Connect Math, I got my Thomas University email. Okay, so hopefully that takes care of everything. I look forward to a great semester. Communicate, communicate, communicate. All right? If you're running into problems, communicate. If you're getting behind, communicate. If you got a problem, if something's not going wrong, if you just are not going right for you, and you really have a problem with me, something the way things are going, talk to me. Okay? I hope you can hear in my voice that I'm a pretty easygoing guy. And like I said, I'm here to help you be successful. I want that money that you've invested in your education to be well spent and have you get out of this course successfully. Have a great rest of the weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks very much.